We Want to Play is filling news feeds this morning after news broke over the weekend that the college football season might not happen after all. ESPN is reporting that a vast majority of Big Ten presidents would vote to postpone the football season to the spring season. Commissioners of the Power Five conferences held an emergency meeting yesterday to discuss their options. Several high-profile players posting on social media that they want to play this season, but to do so safely. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence tweeted this yesterday saying, "Let's work together to create a situation where we can play the game that all of us love, not divide and argue. There is a way forward." Ohio State QB Justin Fields, a potential top draft pick in 2021, tweeting, "There's been too much work put in. We want to play." Meanwhile, our Golden Gophers are busy at training camp moving forward with their upcoming season. Their first game is scheduled for less than a month away from now. And sources told ESPN that the postponement or cancellation of the football season, it seems inevitable. So we're going to find out more, though, in the coming weeks. And like I said, Chris, the Gophers, they play Michigan September. But again, it's all kind of up in the air.
Huge moneymaker for these schools, but I mean, student safety is priority number one. So it'll be interesting to see what solution they come up with. Thanks, Alicia.